My name is Akil Patterson. This is Joe Cortez, and welcome to the Late Night News. Let's get to it.
You finally got that. That's what I say. You finally got that sticker timed correctly. I'm impressed.
Welcome to the Late Night News, everybody. My name is Akil Patterson. This is Joe Cortez. Joe, let's get into it. You've got the top five today.
That is correct. 10-11 on the East Coast, 7-11 on the West. Here's what's coming. Here's what's making headlines tonight. Breaking news coming into the newsroom at this hour. One of the first class action lawsuits against Terraform Labs over the UST meltdown was filed in the federal court of the Northern District of California today. Law firm Brager, Eagle, and Squire announced they have formally filed the suit against Terraform Labs, Three Arrows Capital, Do Kwon, and Nicholas Platius. The action is on behalf of, quote, all persons and entities who purchased Terra tokens, including Terra and UST, between May 20th, 2021 and May 25th, 2022. In their announcement, the attorneys accused Terraform of violating the Exchange Act by using materially false statements and advice to convince retail investors to purchase Terra tokens at an inflated price and omitting certain information to investors. They further alleged Terraform and others violated the Securities Act by not registering Terra tokens with the SEC and possibly violated the RICO Act by participating in a pattern of racketeering activity. The law firm is seeking others who lost money through Terra tokens or may have questions about the case. More information can be found on the group's website, BESPC.com. It's unclear if representatives from Terraform Labs, Three Arrows, or Mr. Kwon have publicly responded to the allegations. Akil, this feels like we knew this was coming. We just didn't know when.
Well, I hate to say this, but I told everybody so. That this is definitely, I'm very interested that they took the RICO Act, though. And if anyone doesn't know what the RICO Act is, it's basically if you had a conversation with somebody that did something illegal, you're now basically tied up in it. That's literally what RICO Act does. It just kind of encapsulates everybody in there. And so this is very interesting. So they mean that they knowingly had communications with somebody that was doing something illegal. And so the amount of people that can be named in a RICO charge is astronomical. Like, this is literally how they took down John Gotti back in the 90s. So if you think that this is going to be like a one and done, easy enough, hey, we're just gotta, slap our names on this. This is not. This is gonna be a beast. This is gonna be a beast that is going to be going on indefinitely. And I'm pretty sure Do Kwon is actually in hiding because I think he's under an investigation over in South Korea. So, I mean, this man is not getting off the hook. He's got multiple issues. So when he finally comes out of the rock that he's hiding under, he better be careful. I mean, because they're coming for him hot, heavy, and fast. So good luck to everybody in this lawsuit. But ultimately, litigation is a long road that is not paved with beautiful pennies.
It is going to be a very long road. We summarized exactly who is being sued in this, but it's a long, long list. Companies I've literally never heard of that have been involved in this. Jump Trading LLC, Republic Maximal LLC, Tribe Capital, D-Finance Capital, D-Finance Technologies, and all the tokens that they're including is insane. It was very long anyways. UST, Luna, obviously, Whale, Astro, Apollo, mirrored assets, liquidity pool tokens, bonded assets as well. It's going to be a very interesting case, and this is going to set precedent for wherever this the entire community goes as a result of this. It's really going to be interesting to watch, but do not be prepared for a quick decision. This is going to be a very, very long decision being made over time.
It's going to be longer than my mustache. That's for sure. It's going to be longer than my mustache at the end of the day.
But what a fine mustache it is.
I know. David keeps telling. I heard David's got one now too, but we'll wait to see that on his next podcast.
Looking forward to seeing that. Speaking of lawsuits, another law firm is seeking more information from those who may have purchased a Bored Ape NFT or ApeCoin for potential actions against Yuga Labs. Scott & Scott, attorneys at law, announced today an investigation into the blue-chipped NFT project claiming leaders use celebrity promoters and endorsements to drive up the price of both Bored Ape Yacht Club art and ApeCoin, with promises of high returns to holders. The attorneys are accusing Yuga Labs of launching ApeCoin after selling millions of dollars worth of NFTs as part of a scheme to promote their products and ultimately leaving coin holders with losses of 87% or more. Scott and Scott have not yet filed a lawsuit against Yuga Labs, but they say individual investors are now joining together for potential legal action. Yuga Labs has not yet publicly responded to the allegations. Akil, last time you and I were here, you were so bullish on ApeCoin and the other side. Does this take anything out of your sales at all?
This is one of those bullshit legal counsel things that clearly the law office of Scott and Scott decided that this was, and again, there was a bunch of Scotts in there.
Two Scotts,
they're
actually.
looking
Scott
for something.
and Scott.
No, I'm being facetious with that. A bunch of Scotts in there, but I feel as though this one is a little different. Okay, Bored Apes Yacht Club has several. It's a brand, number one. Number two, it is a very successful brand. Number three, Yuga Labs has been very responsible and very responded to almost every allegation out there. And even with the ape coins, those are used to vote on. It's a mechanism of voting. It's like a DAO, right? It's a mechanism of how you can vote for what you want the other side to be. So you are an active participant in a company, in a brand, in a business. And so you losing value, cash value, is not the same as a scheme in which people were intentionally trying to defraud you. So what we're seeing here is a group of attorneys that are out here trying to, they haven't sued them because they're grabbing at the sticks. They're just trying to find out what's going to come down and what's going to stick on the wall. But ultimately, ape coins, Bored Apes, those sold very well. There's no promise or guarantee other than you own the IP for that creation, and that the ape coin was used as basically a token to let you vote in a DAO, which they're still doing. So just because it quote unquote lost value today does not mean it will lose value in the foreseeable future or sustainable. It's not going to zero tomorrow. There's too many people invested in it. They had an Ape Fest in New York City. And if anybody knows how much it costs to have any event in New York City, I'll tell you, it ain't cheap. So what these guys are crying over is that the market is down right now and that people need to overcome. But other than that, pick your panties up, stop being a little biat, and get ready for the bull run next cycle. Because that's it. That's what I got to say.
It's very interesting, and I can't comment one way or another. But once again, I feel like we are going to start setting precedents on legal gray areas. In particular, the role of a DAO, what exactly a DAO is, and can a DAO be held responsible for actions? And also the idea of what is cryptocurrency? Is it a commodity or is it a security? I think everybody in the industry wants it to be regulated as a commodity and wants it regulated by the CFTC. But the SEC is getting more and more active on these cases, and I'm really curious as to what it's going to take for Congress to act and set guidelines on who regulates what and what rules and what laws apply to what aspects. Whether or not this lawsuit will go through, I don't know, but it will ultimately have some repercussions, and it will create some precedents as we move forward into this new world.
You're absolutely right, but again, I feel like they're grasping at straws here. They're just trying to pick up something. I don't think there's nothing so significantly there for me to see. But hey, you never know. Maybe a judge wants to hear it through, but that's also another case. Like, then we got to find judges that are going to know what the heck this really means. Like, okay, so this ape coin that isn't real money, it doesn't exist. So how was it a scam? Like, they're just going to tell you, like, so how'd you get scammed? Because they told you everything that you weren't supposed to do with this, but okay. So good luck to the judge that hears this case.
It'll be interesting to see if anything moves forward as a result of this. A lot of legal headlines in tonight's stories. Our next story is once again is going to court with the owner of Binance demanding a formal apology from an Asian Bloomberg subsidiary after he claimed the headline made him quite distressed and embarrassed. The Hong Kong Economic Times reports Changpeng CZ Zhao is taking Modern Media, the Chinese language publisher of Bloomberg Businessweek, to court on accusations of defamation. The action refers to a cover headline and social media post on or around July 6, 2022, which read, quote, Changpeng Zhao's Ponzi scheme, end quote. CZ claims the headline caused him to be hated, despised, and ridiculed, and harmed his image within the public, especially among cryptocurrency circles. According to archived images, though, the English cover published on June 27, 2022, featuring CZ, read, Can crypto's richest man stand the cold? So is this a case of lost in translation, or do you think there was some malicious by the Chinese language reprinter?
I do not know. Because honestly, like, so this is a linguist thing. It's like, well, did they know intentionally what they did? There are a lot, and let's be very real. Like, let's call a spade. BNB, the Binance blockchain, the Binance blockchain, which was home of the original like SafeMoon and multiple other crypto terrible shitty projects. There were a lot of scams there. There were a lot of scams built on that. So it's not necessarily a false claim. What it is that CZ should not be directly implicated in those Ponzi schemes. So when you read it, it does read that CZ is the one that's, hey, it's CZ's Ponzi schemes. But what really it was the blockchain that was being used as a mechanism for people to use it as a Ponzi scheme. So was it CZ? No. Was it people using and misusing the blockchain within itself? Abso-fucking-lutely. But at the end of the day, you still need to say that CZ, he's not the Ponzi scheme. He's not. It was people utilizing his blockchain for nefarious actions in which he did not have responsibility to those individuals. So he definitely is going to end up getting off with something out of this, because it does directly refer to him as it's his Ponzi scheme, and they name him. So that's where they're in trouble. They've named him directly. So good luck, guys. But I'm telling you now, them Bloomberg folks, it's probably going to be cheaper to sell out of court.
Well, once again, there are two things I'd like to clarify here. Number one, Bloomberg itself is not being named in the suit. It's only the regional publisher publishing in Chinese. And number two, this is a case, I think, of they said, because, it's very difficult. Having worked in the Chinese language and having worked with translators, it is very difficult to do an actual one-to-one translation of intent and everything else involved, of intent and context, for a written project. So that being said, again, this is something I'm just not qualified to comment on. This is not something that I have a whole lot of expertise in, but I do know that it is very difficult to go from the English language to another language, especially a symbolic language like Chinese or Japanese or Korean. And I think that, at the end of the day, once again, it's going to set precedent. What that precedent will be, I don't know. The best we can do is kind of watch from the sidelines and see how the world reacts to the result of this lawsuit.
CZ, if you ever want to come on this show at any point, we'll have you on gladly. You can tell us your side of the story. We'll listen. We're here for you, my friend.
We will gladly. If CZ wants to come on, if you're listening, we will gladly have you anytime, any place. Have your people call our people. We would love to have you on the People's Choice for Web3 News.
Absolutely. We love CZ. So plus he's out of all the crypto guys, I think he's the fan favorite right now. He's a fan favorite. He's not like Elon. He's not like Charles. He's not like Michael. He's literally like the guy that's like, hey, I just went to Africa and I sat down with like real people and I ate dinner, and I just like finished like a world tour where I'm meeting with like the press agent of the worst person in the country and the press agent of the best person in the country. We just want to talk about how we can have crypto adoption. That's CZ right now. So that's why everyone loves CZ, and leave CZ alone.
You got to do it with more emphasis, with more emotion, crying.
Leave CZ alone.
Thank you. Thank you. If you're going to commit to the meme, Akil, if you're going to commit to the meme, you got to commit to the meme. You can't just go at it, partially. You got to go in all the way.
Leave CZ alone. CZ is our friend. All right, there we go. So CZ, we've made the pitch.
You know where to find us. Let's get a little bit happier news. Despite market volatility, there's still definitely an appetite for cryptocurrency investment opportunity by venture capitalists, displayed today when a group of former Facebook employees who found Aptos Labs announced a $150 million Series A funding round, led by centralized crypto exchange FTX, Griffin Gaming Partners, and Franklin Templeton. With the round, the company now says they've successfully raised $350 million over the past 7 months after reaching 20,000 operational DevNet nodes and launching incentivized testnets. The company consists of former Meta employees who were working on the now defunct Libra project inside Facebook and WhatsApp, which is intended to be a private blockchain within the social network's applications. On Twitter, the company says their goal is to build a, quote, safe, scalable, and reliable foundation for Web3 and to build an upgradable blockchain. So Libra may get new life after all, but just outside of Meta's grasp.
Just outside of Meta.
Yeah. When I say Meta, I mean Facebook. I mean,
I know. What I'm saying is
atmosphere.
What I'm saying is that you think they might be out of Meta's grasp. What really are they? It's the big guy on the block, right? They might still be active in the space. They might be active in who is involved in the company and where funding is coming from. And the fact that didn't they already spend like $1 billion this year on a couple of projects that just have gone nowhere from Meta? I mean, I feel as though they've just wasted a lot of money. And so it's less about them, the corporate entity that I trust. It's more about the nefarious actors that keep dumping money into these projects that just don't have they just don't have the juice. They don't have the juice. That's it. They just don't have the juice. So,
well, and I agree with you with that statement that Meta did not have the juice to go through with Libra and create a private blockchain within their system. And when regulators started to push back as part of that larger push against Facebook, against other social media brands, it definitely forced regulators to ask a lot more critical questions of, if we know you're going to manipulate our data and we know that, you're basically monetizing people's opinions and emotions, what further damage could you do by creating a private economy and private blockchain? Now, that being said, that still happens all the time. One of the, I think, most predatory aspects of gaming and today is the slot machine apps that you download on your phone. You don't win any money.
150% return, and you're like, who's getting 150% return?
Well, here's the thing about them: you don't earn any money, you can't gamble with it, but they incentivize you through that hormone in your system, that the happy feeling you get from winning.
Yeah,
the endorphins. They hook you with the endorphins to get you to spend real money to win fake money that can't be used and can't be taken elsewhere. So we've already seen that predatory action happening. We know it exists, but why was the action just limited to Meta when there's way other more predatory people out there, more predatory actors out there? But I think it does come back to what you said. They just didn't have the juice. They didn't have the vision for it. And when regulators already started pushing them in a time when they were already very pushed, they just decided to call it in, give up, and work on other things to ultimately mine our data for the questionable good.
Yeah. So yeah. F Meta.
Fair enough.
They already own everything else. It's like, what else? What else do you want to own? You're gonna own my blockchain?
They don't own me. I am not on the meta at all. I am not on Facebook. I am not on Insta. I'm not on WhatsApp. They're not, I'm going to reduce the amount of data they own of me at all possible opportunities.
They own a lot of me. They own a lot of me. All of me. They got all
Loves
of me.
all of Meta.
Yeah, Meta's got all my data.
Let's end on a happy note. Let's end on a high note. Finally, Chipotle wants to make it easier for crypto enthusiasts to, wait for it, buy the dip. Yes. The Mexican Fast Casual chain is running a sweepstakes through July 31st, offering up to $200,000 in Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Dogecoin, and Avalanche as prizes. For those who aren't so lucky, everyone will win a coupon for 1 cent guacamole when you use the code AVO, AVO 2022, all one word, in the Chipotle app on July 31st, Avocado Day, National Avocado Day. The contest is open to legal U.S. residents in the United States and Washington, D.C. who are 18 and older and have a Chipotle rewards account. Crypto prizes will be awarded based on the exchange rate on the day the prize is awarded. To enter, visit www.chipotlebythedip.xyz, www.chipotlebythedip.xyz. The move comes after the chain began accepting cryptocurrency as payment for burritos and bowls at all of their restaurants with the help of Flexa. Who doesn't love free guac? I'm just going to throw that out there right now. Who doesn't love free guac?
I mean, I get pissed off that they make me pay extra for it. Like, seriously, listen, Chipotle, before we go into giving you guys your kudos for doing something great with crypto, let's have this real quick conversation. Why are you making me pay for guacamole in the first place? If I get chips, I should get guac. That should be a guarantee standard. All right. Just add like an extra like 10 cents or something to every chips I buy. But I should have guac when I buy those chips instead of having to force you guys to be like, well, that's an extra $2.25, Mr. Patterson. Look, inflation is real. All right. Go into the back, grab some of your avocados. Yes, I will even take the Mexican grown avocados at this point because they had there was a whole campaign where they didn't even want you to have Mexican grown avocados. I will take whatever avocados you got, but you better give me my avocados. Now, Chipotle, back to treating you like a good friend. Congratulations on doing something nice for the world. You're accepting cryptocurrency. You're helping the world become a better place. But now make sure that the guac is 100% filled to the brim. Don't cheat me either. Like, don't try to get the little kid that tries to like give you half a scoop and then taper off. No. Get that big scoop, stuff that spoon in there, and then give another scoop and then slam that lid shut. I want that good guac. So happy National Avocado Day. Use some crypto to get it, but I'm probably not going to use Bitcoin. They're going to have to take something else because I'm not giving away my Bitcoin at this point. I'm holding on to that like a bad baby because I feel like a bull run's coming, and I feel it in my gut. You know that feeling that you get in your tummy? That's what I got. So I'm not using Bitcoin to pay for it, but if they got some other opportunities, oh yeah, I'm all in.
First off, I want to know the Chipotle store that you go to where they call you Mr. Patterson, where you're on that formal basis with them. How much Chipotle are you buying where they call you Mr. Patterson when you walk in?
Oddly enough, one of the kids,
number one, I really want to know.
One of the kids I coach, his family owns a Chipotle near me, so that's why they call me Mr. Patterson. But that's another subject matter.
Oh, okay. All right. That makes sense. Because when you walk in and like, oh, it costs extra, Mr. Patterson. I'm like, how much are you buying? How often are you getting it where they're on a formal, are you just keeping one store alive?
Probably.
Number two.
I probably am keeping them during the pandemic. I was keeping them afloat.
No, number two, if you're offended by the $2.25, go to the grocery store, get a $1 avocado from the grocery store and make your own. Heck, if you want to get even cheaper, buy a $1.99 bag of Tostitos or whatever, Mission tortilla chips. My favorite tortilla chips.
I'm a job creator, though. Look, I am a job creator. All right.
That is very true.
I am the guy who's like, I don't want to clean up my house, so I'm going to hire a cleaning person. I don't want to change my own oil. I'm going to go to Jiffy Lube. Or I'm going to go to an oil change place, because Jiffy Lube, if you want my free airtime, you need to, come sponsor this. But look, like, I'm a job creator. That's what I do, right? I find things. I know a guy. I get a discount, or I make other people buy it. Whatever it takes. Like, I'm a job creator. But at this point, $225 for that half a scoop. It's not even a full scoop. At least, Joe, give me that. It's not even a full scoop.
No, I'm not saying it's a full scoop. Okay. That's why I go create jobs at my local grocery store. I go to my local Food Lion. I get a $1 avocado from Mexico. I come home, I smash it up with a little red onion, a little seasoning, a little this, a little that, and not only have I created a job for the youth at my local grocery store, but I've also saved $1.25, and I get like 4 whole little canisters of guac. That's a 1,000 IQ play right there.
But I'm creating jobs for the summer intern that wants to work at Chipotle, because one day they will want to own their own Chipotle. Listen, don't go to the grocery store, own the grocery store. My grandfather said that, so that's what these kids want. I want them to own every Chipotle in America. I want these kids to be successful, and I want them to use their Bitcoin that they're investing in today to buy it. That's why we teach people about Bitcoin and Ethereum and cryptocurrencies in general here at G Media, because we want you to own the grocery store. Don't just work for somebody. Don't be a cog in the wrench. Be the wheel, like, be the engine that drives this thing. All right. So Chipotle, give me my full scoop.
Finally, it's Chipotle, not Chipotle. You have the hard T. The hard T is driving me off, throwing my Mexican brain off, man.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm from Baltimore, so.
All right, well, I'll give you a pass on that.
Yeah, it's kind of like a dirty language at the same time, but
it is what it is. Join David Gokhshtein on Twitter Spaces tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time for the breakdown, where he'll be talking about Bitcoin's maxi leaving for other projects and how the SEC's action against Coinbase could affect the greater cryptocurrency space. That's the breakdown, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, 6:30 Pacific at Gokhshtein Media on Twitter.
Well, thank you, Joe. And for everybody at home, as always, we thank you for joining us here at Late Night News presented by G Media. We are the peoples. Well, you know what, Joe? I'm going to let you take us out tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Have a great tonight and a better tomorrow. You've been watching the Late Night News with G Media, the people's choice for Web3 News.